Hello and welcome to another episode of road.cc Recommends. This is where we tell you all about the best products that we've reviewed on the site in the past month.
Yeah, we've got 13 fantastic products that we think you need to know about. Unlucky for some, lucky for you, along with buying advice that could actually change your life, so make sure you stick around for that.
So ideally, road.cc Recommends will allow you to get your hands on a product while it's still available, rather than us telling you all about it at the end of the year and it being already gone.
Yeah, although a lot of stuff's sold out already.
It is, yeah. Anyway, Dave, shall we get stuck in?
Yeah, let's. Okay, here's one that's perfect size for you, Liam. It is the Kidvelo Rookie 12 balance bike.
Oh, we're all hilarious today, aren't we?
Yes, we are. This lightweight balance bike comes in at a reasonable price of £130. It boasts a lifetime warranty, and it's really easy to adjust if you've got a couple of kids that are sharing the bike.
I don't even have a couple of kids.
No, I do have a couple of kids, but unfortunately they're a little bit big for a balance bike now.
The only thing that we thought would actually improve the bike would be a rear brake, but that really depends on
how good you are at skidding with your feet, really. Yeah. But the upright riding position that the geometry provides allowed our test rider, which wasn't Liam incidentally, to easily look ahead at all times. Now, as we all know, that's ideal for balance, and as a result, it's great for confidence.
Next up is something completely different, and one that you should actually get now before it gets wet and cold again. These are the Shimano MW7 Gore-Tex SBD shoes. And they're really rather good for winter of, off-road, road, gravel, any kind of ride.
They'll have a catchy name, don't they?
Yes.
You get a Gore-Tex insulated waterproof liner, and that does a really good job of keeping water out for a long time. Now, the water will eventually find its way in via the neoprene ankle cuff at the top, but you can mitigate this a bit with waterproof trousers over the top.
Yeah, I have to say that I've got a set of winter mountain bike boots, and they are just brilliant, comfy, warm. I mean, what more do you want?
Yeah, and even when the water does get in, it's just kind of nice, warm and soggy, isn't it?
Yeah,
a warm and soggy feeling.
The boa dial closure here is good too. There's nothing worse than trying to undo wet, muddy laces with frozen fingers.
Yeah, that brings me back to Sunday morning football.
Yeah.
Lansdowne in the sub-zero temperatures.
If Lansdowne wasn't frozen and you couldn't play.
Away from frozen fingers, the Tailfin carbon suspension fork mount helps answer a genuine problem for mountain bike riders who need to carry more kit for bike packing or for longer rides.
Okay, so this is a very small carbon part and it is 50 quid, but it is well made and it supports multiple fixing locations, so we can just about justify the price.
Just about.
Ish.
Yeah. Each set of mounts can accommodate 2 cages with the ability to pick exactly the style you prefer, your cargo cages, or if you mount them close together, standard bottle cages. Once a cage or cages are fitted, it feels incredibly secure. There's no movement at all, even when you're riding on off-road bits over the really rough sections.
So the carrying capacity is 5 kilos for gravel riding or 3 kilos for trail riding. So these would be ideal for carrying several fluid canisters, a dry bag with clothing, or a lightweight sleeping bag. When packing for bike packing adventures, you'd actually be surprised how much stuff it takes to reach 3 kilos. So this is not a limiter. Now that you're ready for an adventure, here's our route of the month.
Off to sunnier climes for this one. The Cap to Formentor is one of the classic routes on the island of Mallorca. It's 22 kilometres to the lighthouse, and you pack in about 500 metres of climbing along the way. First there's the climb out of Port de Pollença, then you drop down into a beautiful wooded section before another climb over the headland to reach the iconic lighthouse. Once you're there, you're right at the end of the island, so your only option is to turn tail and head back. But the road is stunning in both directions, so there'll be no hardship. It's well worth adding the Cap to Formentor to your itinerary if you're coming out to Mallorca for some off-season sun. For more ideas on what to do when you're out there, you can check out our Mallorca guide video, which is popping up now.
Yeah, really nice one, that. And if you've got a route that you think we should take a look at, let us know. The contact details are in the description, or you can just pop it in the comments.
The Giro Republic R-Knit road cycling shoes are a great pair of commuter, gravel, touring shoes, whatever you want to do with them, with the new knitted construction. They offer better breathability over the LXR version that we reviewed a few years ago.
Now, Giro has used its Zenetic knit, is that how you say it? I don't know. Which is made up of a blend of nylon and polyester fibres. Now, the interesting thing about a knitted shoe is that they allow for a diversity of construction without requiring different panels. So, Giro simply adds more nylon fibres where rigidity is needed, like near the laces towards the sole, and then it uses a higher proportion of polyester, which is a bit more flexible where rigidity is less important, like on the sides.
So one thing that people are often concerned about is how well shoes with a knit construction actually hold the foot. But we're happy to say that the lacing system on these shoes, combined with the strategically strengthened areas, means that there is no slipping and no hot spots. As with all lace systems, you lose the element of adjustability on the go that you kind of have with a boa or even Velcro. But that is a given.
I don't adjust my shoes anyway, do you?
No. Sometimes.
On the sole, you'll find 4 rubber walking buffers, which have been designed with a bit of a curve, which allows you to walk like a normal human being, which is nice.
That's going to make them ideal for commuting, gravel riding, and leisure riding as well.
Absolutely, and the price of £150, I mean, they're not cheap, but they're pretty good value. Another well-priced item is the Mason by Hunt? Mason times Hunt?
It's a collab.
Mason Hunt 650B Adventure Sport disc wheel set, and this is a great choice for adding tyre volume and go anywhere capability to your bike.
So the 650B tubeless ready rims boast a 25mm internal rim width that provides excellent support to wider tyres, and we found them easy to set up with tubeless tyres.
Yeah, with no fuss at all really. The build from Hunt is very nice, and while the parts list won't leave you drooling, it's a sensible selection of parts that will work for miles, and then, you know, they're really easy to repair or replace if you need to.
There's also loads of axle options here, which makes putting these wheels on an older bike much easier.
Yeah. Right, time for a product that has inspired our buying advice. Liam, it's the
Oxford Aqua Evo 22-litre backpack, which is, well, it's totally waterproof, it's very ruggedly made and cheaper than some less capable competition.
Well, that sounds like an easy, sounds like a bit of a no-brainer, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Inside, you'll find a padded laptop sleeve, along with a few smaller pockets, making internal organisation just a bit easier. Externally, you've got a waterproof zippered pocket for easy access to stuff like keys, and there are hooks for hanging your lights from.
That's pretty good, yeah, good that. At the back, there are 4 AirTech pads. Now they hold the bag away from your back, and those big gaps along with the crinkle cut foam do a pretty good job of keeping you cool on the bike.
Yeah, and all for 90 quid, which is reasonable against the competition.
Yeah, your backpack was 150.
It was.
Well, you didn't pay for it. With that in mind, let's take a look at how to commute by bike. It can genuinely be a life-changing decision, but a good setup will make it so much easier.
Absolutely. Here to run you through the different options for carrying your clobber it's me and Dave.
Yes, us. You can probably chip in a bit, can't you? I mean, we both ride to the office, although neither of our rides are the longest.
No, I don't think that 5 minutes down the hill is the biggest commute out there. But we've both done proper commutes in our time. My one to the bike shop back in the day was an hour each way over the Mendips. I tell you what, that was character building in the winter.
I bet it was. Yeah. I mean, mine have never been that long actually, but I do like to kind of extend them by going away from the office.
You do like to do the long way around.
Do myself a power hour.
I think that the one thing that we actually agree on is that having a way to carry your work stuff like really well is essential.
Yeah, you're likely going to need to take some kind of clothing, be that formal or casual. Sometimes you can wear your work clothes on the bike. Other times you're going to need to carry it in a bag. Then you'll need some lunch, in Liam's case a lot of lunch, a drink, shoes, you might have to have a laptop on you as well.
Yeah, I mean really with that in mind your options boil down to 2 bags basically. The rucksack and the pannier. The rucksack is the way to go if your bike is a road racer or something without pannier rack mounting points on the frame. They're also ideal for lighter loads. This is the way that I go because I am rarely riding the same bike to work on consecutive days.
Oh, poor you.
It's a challenge,
Yes.
it is.
Poor you. But if you do have mounts for a pannier rack, then this can be a brilliant way to carry heavier loads without the strain being put on your back. In the summer months as well, it's quite a lot cooler as well, yeah, not sweating into a backpack. Now, panniers come in a range of shapes and sizes, but our advice would be to get something that is waterproof, as you never know when you're going to get caught in the rain.
Yeah.
Internally, you can get panniers that are better for shopping. They've just got a big cavernous space you can chuck everything in. And then there are ones that are good for organisation. They have more internal divisions. Which one you go for will depend on your needs.
So some panniers come with a backpack strap system, or just some way to kind of sling the bag over your shoulder, which is ideal if your commute to work ends with a short walk. There are even kind of fashiony panniers available so that you can arrive in style.
Is that something you go for?
No.
No.
Buying a backpack for your commute or riding needs will bring up many of the same questions as when considering a pannier purchase. So the bag that I use, for example, features loads of pockets for organisation, as well as putting my laptop against my back for comfort. Larger backpacks generally run at the 30-litre mark, and that allows you to carry loads of stuff, or have room in your bag for a quick trip to the shops on the way home.
Yeah, I lost my keys for 2 weeks in my bag when it's got so many pockets. Now, if you're using a backpack on longer commutes, just remember to get something with a supportive strap system, because otherwise a heavy bag will swing all around, all over the place on your back, and your shoulders are going to be ruined. Okay, next up is the Endura GV500 insulated jacket, which we thought was really excellent. It's super lightweight, it has 2 hand warmer pockets, it's got a double-ended zip and a snug adjustable hood. It offers a warm, windproof layer on very cold, dry days, and it's an ideal companion for the end of any adventure.
So the jacket uses PrimaLoft Gold Active insulation encased in a lightweight windproof shell designed to keep your core warm. It's not waterproof, although it does feature a water repellent coating. But what I really love is it just looks like a good jacket.
It looks like a good jacket, doesn't it? The cycling cut of it is really subtle, so you could easily wear that down the pub with normal clothes. And I think Pat does wear it down the pub a lot.
Yeah, he wears it.
He goes
a
down
lot.
the pub.
Yeah. Another top tool now, and as a tool nerd, I really love this one.
Yeah, this is a very specific tool.
Very niche.
Very niche. It only works with 4 piston calipers like Hope's V4, but it makes a tricky job really simple.
Essentially, this tool wedges 3 of the pistons, preventing them from moving. You can then expose the final piston, allowing you to clean it.
Yeah, the cutout on the tool is even cut so the piston you're pressing out won't fully pop out, so you can clean it all the way to the bottom. Brilliant.
There are also options for Shimano 4-piston brakes, so if you got them, just buy it.
Just buy one, it's 9 quid. Yeah.
It's 9 quid of happiness.
Another no-brainer.
Yeah, absolutely. The Repente Artax GLM saddle is next up, and once again, Repente has made a saddle that has proved to be comfortable for our tester.
Yeah, now saddles are very personal, but if you like yours and cutout variety, this is a very good choice. Repente uses separate pieces for the base and the top, meaning that once you buy the saddle, you can get a different top if you don't get on with the one you have. I've got Repente saddles on a couple of my bikes.
Yeah, you really get on with them.
Really got on with them well, yeah.
It also means that you can replace just the top if, for instance, you crash and badly scrape your saddle.
Have you crashed and broken the saddle recently?
Yes, several actually. I've repaired one that's 250 quid, thankfully, but I had to get the epoxy out and learn how to do that, which was good fun.
The 2-part epoxy.
Yes.
Like a pro. Right, time for book club now with Pro Cycling Style woven into history. This is a celebration of cycling style, focusing on the livery of pro cycling teams, past and present.
So in his latest book, Knight tries to determine how to define style and discover why only some kit achieves it. He wonders if looking good could be a marginal gain that helps you to actually go faster. Don't worry if you were simply hoping for lots of high quality images of glorious jerseys supported by a bit of background information. There's plenty of that.
If looking good on the bike's a marginal gain to help you go faster, that might explain a few things about my riding, I don't know. If you're a fan of cycling's history anyway, this would be an excellent read that you can easily dip in and out of. It's a great coffee table book.
Yeah. I mean, it's the type of book that I would expect all cycling cafes should own. And speaking of cafes...
This is a lovely segue we're getting here.
What a segue. It's time for Dave and I to go on a virtual brew
The Rowdey Cow Cafe is just down the hill from the town of Devizes and has the distinct advantage of not being up at the top of the hill. Road is ideally located for cycling, with a huge range of quiet country lanes that can take you through a host of lovely villages. The cafe itself does loads of tasty lunch options with an ever-changing spread of delicious cakes. Dairy-free, gluten-free and vegan options are all available, and if you're there on a particularly sunny day, the selection of ice creams is ever tempting. While the sun often shines in the West Country, it can, from time to time, rain a bit. And on these rare occasions, there's plenty of indoor seating with big windows allowing you to keep an eye on your bike. Then again, the likeliest thief is probably one of the farm animals.
That's one I can actually ride to from here.
Yeah, I know. I was actually there at the weekend, which kind of inspired it.
Fair enough.
Just a few more to go now before we reach the heady heights of our product of the month.
Yeah, and our next product is the Neomouv Adonis 2, which provides a good amount of mid-drive performance in a well-equipped package. Our test bike came with a really good size 522 watt-hour battery, and that powers an 80 Newton meter motor, and that's resulting in quiet, very powerful, and also very efficient performance on city commutes and on leisure rides.
So this bike absolutely sails up steep hills. So if you live in a hilly area like we do in Bath, you'll find the Adonis 2 really helpful.
Yeah, it's super important to get a good powerful motor around here. And at around 12 watt hours per mile fuel consumption, the Neo Assist motor is pretty efficient when used in a sensible way. And you get about 40-mile range even when it's pretty hilly like it is around here.
The £2,360 price tag is actually decent as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
The next one is a bike that you reviewed, Dave.
Yeah, it is Tern's Quick Haul, and the Quick Haul is the company's attempt to bring cargo biking to the masses. Well, some more of the masses anyway. It's still expensive. It's a bike that takes loads of the versatility of the GSD and HSD models, and it squeezes it into a better value package. And it's broadly a success. There's loads to like about it, and nearly all of the compromises that Tern has made are sensible ones.
So what actually makes a bike like this so useful?
So it's a really compact bike, but it's able to carry a lot of gear. So you get something that's easy to store, but is really suitable for like city living. It easily replaces a second car.
And you can take the kids around on it.
And you can take a kid around on it,
A kid. Right, time for the big one. Let's reveal our product of the month.
And it's another gravel bike, so that'll make everyone happy. The Sonder Camino AL frame and fork option is an excellent base on which to build a commuting bike or a gravel or a bikepacking bike. It's loaded with features, it's a really excellent price, and it compares well with far more expensive frame sets.
Does. This latest iteration brings two major developments: a carbon fork that's got a carbon steerer tube with triple luggage mounts, and an internal routing system down the down tube. Previous models used a fork with an alloy steerer and no mounts, and an external cable routing system under the down tube. There's also a change in geometry. Most notably, the head tube angle is slacker at 69 degrees and the wheelbase is longer too. Longer reach means shorter stems, again as with the mountain bike world, aiding stability and control.
Yeah, now the frame set is designed to give you space for huge tyres, and that clearance comes courtesy of chainstays designed to make room for a big fat tyre, which in turn means it's either a 1x crankset or a smaller 2x, so a road 2x won't fit. The drive side chainstay starts out as a solid plate from the bottom bracket to just rearward of the chainring, where it's welded to a normal curved chainstay. Now inside that space, you'll fit about a 46 tooth chainring.
That's pretty big.
It's pretty big, yeah.
There are sensible features like the BSA threaded bottom bracket, which will please pretty much all of humanity. At the forks, there are 3 standard luggage mounts on each leg to hold luggage carriers for water or other camping gear. Being small threads set into carbon, these mounts are there to prevent vertical slipping of a load, not to retain its weight, so you'll want to use a strap system around the fork to hold a load in place.
Yeah. The frame also now features internal cable routing for a cleaner look, although some people might prefer the old external routing. Thanks to the long wheelbase, we found the Camino to be very stable at high speed on gravel, even loaded with bikepacking kit. The chainstays and the bottom bracket drop make twisting through the trees on windy trails really fun, so you've got the best of both worlds with this bike. Okay, that concludes our baker's dozen of top recommended cycling products for this for this month with a nice cheap gravel bike frame.
Yeah.
If you're not into cheap gravel bikes, but you want a really expensive gravel bike, why don't you check out this video of us comparing the Lauf Seigla and the new 3T Exploro Ultra.
It is. Both, well, no, the Ultra is very expensive.
Very expensive.
Yeah. And remember, if you like this video, give it a like, subscribe to see more from us, and we will see you in the next one. Cheers for watching.
Cheers.